Hi everyone, Rob here with today's Western Pacific weather update, and kind of a special update because it is the first tropical storm of the typhoon season. Now, we had a few storms back in January and March, but this one the first one at least since June. Tropical Storm Yagi. Now, Yagi not expected to become a typhoon, but as we can see here on the satellite picture, it is rather organized. Now, we're not just talking about this storm, because another area here towards the west of the Philippines, some models want that to become a monster by sometime next week. So first half of this update, we're going to talk about this, and then we're going to talk about this. So like I said, actually officially Tropical Storm Yagi now officially is from the Japan Meteorological Agency. Whatever JTWC says doesn't really count. The official agency is JMA, and what they have here right now is winds right about 35, gusting up to 45 knots, about 65 kilometers per hour. Central pressure, if we take a look at some of the detailed information with this, is right about 1,000 HPA. Now it's moving north slowly. That is the key factor. How slow is this going, and what are the upper level dynamics north of this system going to react with it when it does get up north, because that could mean of where exactly, or really make a difference of where exactly it is going to go. Now we expect it to intensify. See, expecting up to about 40 up to 45 knots max intensity. This is just a 3-day outlook. JTWC actually goes out 5 days. Like I said, not official, but they are useful to use. Even have my own non-official forecast here, which I'm going to show you in a second. But this is from JTWC, the military guys out in Hawaii. 45, 50 knots, expecting max intensity west of Iwoto, east of Okinawa, then gradually decrease in intensity, making landfall in and around the Kinki region before pulling off there towards the northeast. By the time it makes that landfall, well, you see here 30, 20 knots. That's just a light summer breeze. Main impact is going to be the rainfall if it does push a little bit there closer to the coast, but also the waves. This is going to be kicking up. If you're a surfer and you're in Okinawa, you're going to be enjoying the waves out there. Now, this is another unofficial track. This is actually from westernpacificweather.com, what you're watching right now. Very vague, but Saturday through Monday expected to make this track north, and then Monday through Wednesday, making that turn towards Shikoku, in and around the southern portions of Honshu, and then around that time very well is going to skim along the coast here afterwards. Now, this is going to waver, and this is my cone of air of where this is going to be going as a tropical system. Very likely, though, I do expect it to make that right-hand turn, and that's why I extended some of these areas in reds. Red equals a threat of flooding, and remember, all this area here very volcanic, so the risk of landslides as well if it was to follow that stronger intensity. Now, this is just my thoughts on this right now. Very well could change because Monday through Wednesday, I'm making the Saturday and the Sunday. It's still several days out. And there are a few upper level features that we're continuing to keep a close eye on. So right here, we have our tropical system. It's right here. And like I said, we have this anticyclonic circulation here, anticyclonic circulation here. It's two lows that are pushing through the area. Now, this is either going to weaken and continue to drift off there towards the northeast, which some of the models wanted to do. Another thing that could happen is that it could very well get pulled into this direction along the right side of this circulation. Let's take a look at some of the upper level models. You can kind of see what I'm talking about. An upper level trough picks. And right here, you can actually see that low spinning up northeast of Japan, but take a look at that really strong upper level jet, and that's actually developing a low pressure area, and that's why on my map you're seeing some of those areas in green over central and eastern China. It's because of this trough that's digging in and developing a low pressure area, and that's going to bring the risk of flooding in China in itself. But on the other hand, as that low comes up, our tropical storm Yagi, that could get hooked up with that trough, and instead of moving up here and skirting along the Japanese coast through Wednesday, could even pull north and then skirt off there towards the northeast. And that's why there's a pretty big cone of air, is because of that trough right there. I think if that wasn't there, this would be a much simpler game to play as far as forecasting does. Due to the fact of that trough, it's going to be, well, quite just a tough one. Now, this is from NOGAPS, and NavGem, or NavGem, they expect it to remain rather weak here through the forecast. So that's a big change for them. And I really don't trust that because it's actually stronger than what they have here as initialization. Let's compare this up with GFS. And GFS really kind of being rather accurate here the last several days. And confirming up from day to day as far as the models. And as we can see here, Well, let's take a look. This is going through Sunday into Monday. Expects it to continue to intensify, making it to that stronger tropical storm intensity. That trough starts to come through. And you can see it making that left-hand turn, and it pushes off there, well, into the Kinki region and around Shikoku. That seems very probable in moving there, but it's going to weaken as it does so, and likely making a landfall as a tropical depression before just completely fading out here. So that is the couple scenarios right now. If we take a look at the ECMWF, using the model platform from our friends over there at Wonder Map, and really a great model platform. And ECMWF, high res, one of the highest resolution in the world. If after you see the initialization of a storm, they're fairly accurate of where this is going to be going right now. Actually, let's take a little zoomer, or a little closer look zoomer. You can see it pulls off here towards the north and makes a landfall in and around Shikoku over towards the Kinki region yet again. All that high winds moving in with it, and also what you're going to be seeing if this happens is that heavy rainfall flow, and thus another reason why I said there is the risk of the flooding off there towards the north and towards the east. Let's scroll a little bit farther down towards the south across the Philippines, because while all this is going on, you're still seeing that moisture inflow coming behind it. Let's back it up just a little bit. This is going through Sunday. See all these winds coming in from the west towards the east? Well, that is going to be bringing some heavy rainfall across southern Luzon, Visayas, and northern Mindanao, and another reason why you saw those areas in red in there in the Philippines. And PAGASA even saying that some of this rainfall, it could cause some risk of flooding and also landslides. And they said it's due to the enhancement of the ITCZ, more or less the inflow of this storm. But as that pulls more and more off towards the north, it's going to be slowly dissipating out here into Monday. But it all depends on the other area I mentioned, and that is this one. Right here towards the west of Palawan, flaring up here, kind of a byproduct of Tropical Storm Yagi, because that inflow kicked up some of this convection. I think that this one could be an interesting storm to watch, to say the least. And what I mean, though, is remember the NavGem model I showed you a few minutes ago that really was initializing rather bad with Yagi? Well, take a look at this as we go out through the next several days. This is Monday and a Tuesday. Now, it's still long range, granted. It's still a few days out. But Thursday and the Friday, and nearly a week from now, I hope you see what's going on there into the South China Sea. And then right around Hainan, towards the west of Hong Kong, a rather large and intense tropical system. This is still very long range. None of the other models are picking up on it. Europeans got a little rotation out there, but nothing to this intensity. So with that said, we're just going to continue to keep a very close eye on this. But right now, top story, Tropical Storm Yagi. Alright, but that is all for right now, everybody. Thanks again for watching here at westernpacificweather.com. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you can post them down into the comment box below. Always appreciate your feedback. Also, if you have any more information, any reports on your local area, especially if you're out there in the Philippines and you're being impacted by this storm, please do share your photos or videos. I always appreciate that feedback. So, thanks for watching, though, and as always, stay safe out there, everyone.